our top story today. In the UK, police have responded to several incidents in the capital, London, with reports saying 7 people are feared dead in one of the incidents. Over 20 pedestrians have also sustained injuries as a van ploughs into people on London Bridge. Police have evacuated and cordoned off the bridge. London's Transportation Authority has shut down 3 London Underground stations. Security forces say they are also responding to another similar incident at Borough Market. Metropolitan Police declare the 2 incidents as terrorist attacks. Security forces have also responded to a stabbing attack in Vauxhall area of London. Manhunt is underway to find multiple suspects who may be armed. Police have reportedly shot dead 2 attackers. Meanwhile, British Prime Minister Theresa May says it is a fast-moving investigation and her thoughts are with the victims of the attacks. We will now go live to London to watch pictures coming there of aftermath of the terrorist attacks that have taken place there last night. As you can see, that Metropolitan Police have declared the London Bridge and Borough Market incidents as terrorist attacks. For more on the incidents that have taken place in London, let's go live to London to talk to our Amina Taylor. And also before that, according to the British Daily The Sun, the 4th explosion has been heard in London Bridge vicinity. These are bits and pieces of news that we are getting every moment. So in addition to the stabbing and the van attack, there are also reports of an explosion. A 4th explosion has reportedly been heard in London Bridge vicinity. Well, let's go to Press TV's Amina Taylor, who's standing by in the British capital, London. Amina, hi there. Thanks for being with us. What is the latest you can tell us?
As you can see from my bloodshot eyes, it's been a fast-moving situation here. Let me just bring the viewers up to speed with what we know so far. About 8 minutes past 10 local time, several hours ago, a van veered into pedestrians on London Bridge, a very heavily populated area of the capital, a lot of foot flow, a lot of traffic, major train station nearby. And then we heard of stabbings in the vicinity and a subsequent shooting by the police, unconfirmed by the Metropolitan Firearms Unit at this time, of suspected assailants. And now pictures have emerged, not just on social media, but on the news wires, of a man lying prone on the ground with an explosive vest with canisters visible, with an armed police officer of some description standing above him. Now, we understand that that person in the photo was alive at the time the picture was taken, but then subsequently died. So there's a lot going on at the moment. We're trying to put together bits and pieces. Now, the unconfirmed reports of an explosion in the London Bridge area. Again, it's something that the London Metropolitan Police have yet to describe and have that be a part of the current ongoing narrative. Borough Market, London Bridge. There were confusing situations a little bit earlier on when Vauxhall Station was also added in the mix, but that later became an unconnected account at the moment, and Vauxhall Station was reopened. But London Bridge, the bridge itself, there's a corridor area of around a mile around the whole area at present. So we're being asked to stay a little bit further back. My colleague Roshan Mohammed Saleh is on the scene, and I'm hoping that we'll be bringing you some live images from our own cameras very soon.
Okay, thank you for that, Amina Taylor. Please stay with us as we go to Tony Gosling, investigative journalist who is also in London. Mr. Gosling, thank you so much for being with us. We're seeing these London terrorist incidents almost. Sorry, you're in Bristol, Mr. Gosling. I have to correct that. And We're seeing these incidents unfolding in London less than a week before the general elections that are supposed to take place in the UK, and also almost less than a fortnight after the terrorist attack in that Manchester arena. What seems to be missing here? Why are we seeing a repeat of these terrorist attacks, despite the fact that we're seeing heightened levels of security, although Theresa May lowered that security level? So what is going wrong here?
Well, look, it seems pretty clear what with the Manchester Arena attack and this attack tonight, that these attacks are timed to be have a political impact in the time of the general election campaign. Now, the details that I've heard are pretty much the same as Amelia Taylor's been saying. It does look as if people have been shot by police. I would suggest potentially that explosions that have been held may well be the police forcing their way into buildings in the area where they believe that at least one of these attackers, apparently still on the loose, may have been hiding. So as not to worry people too much that there are continuing terrorist explosions going on. The police make a lot of noise when they're following these criminals and trying to find them. Yeah, I think there's one thing is quite clear. The Internal Security Service in Britain, MI5, are simply not doing their job. And there is a major problem here in that a lot of these jihadists have been working very, very closely with the Foreign Intelligence Service, MI6, which is just on the south side of the River Thames by Vauxhall Bridge. And they are actually working very closely with these jihadists, so actually fostering them in places like Libya, helping ship them across to places like Syria, and to actually fight for British foreign policy, which is effectively regime change in Syria, regime change in Libya, these kinds of things. And this is really a kind of blowback scenario, what we're seeing here. And it seems that MI5 have completely lost the plot. That is the Internal Security Service, not the Foreign Security Service. And the allowing these attacks to take place. They're not following some of the prime suspects. What we've seen so far in many of the attacks in Britain, including Lee Rigby, including the 7/7 attacks in 2005, and including the Manchester Arena attack, is that the jihadists behind these attacks have been incredibly close to the MI6 and the MI5 security service. In other words, either they've been followed, they're at the top of the terror watch list, but then they go on to actually make the attacks. Big questions need to be asked about where do they actually get the explosives from? Where do they get the weapons from? Big unanswered questions about all of these attacks, really. With the London bombings, lack of evidence, put the London bombers on the trains, lack of CCTV evidence released, lack of CCTV evidence released at the Manchester attacks, the recent Manchester attacks, also the Westminster Bridge attack. We heard all the CCTV cameras have been switched off by the local council, so no pictures really to corroborate the story that we've been told, the official narrative. Also, many of these attackers being shot dead. So that means that these attacks don't get properly tested in the courts, that the police version of events is effectively written down as history. And that shouldn't be the case. The police accounts always should be properly tested. The effect of all this in regards to the general election, you may well say that it may work in Jeremy Corbyn's favour, the Labour leader, because it's roundly accepted in Britain that he has come up with a much better analysis of what happened over in Manchester a couple of weeks ago. That this is blowback, that Britain's foreign policy abroad has been actually encouraging these attacks, and that the security services haven't been dealing with it, MI5 particularly. And the MI5 is pretty much invulnerable. So that means that when the police even are trying to get information from them, they will say, oh, well, it's all covered by national security. Certainly when the press do, it's all covered by national security. We can find very little out. And that means, of course, that those who have made mistakes and are responsible maybe have been following somebody and said, oh, it's OK, we don't need to keep tabs on them anymore. They are in the clear. They often keep their jobs. So we need to actually, I think, get some proper accountability at places like MI5 and MI6. And of course, if we're adjusting our foreign policy so we're not into regime change anymore, that might help stop these kind of blowback attacks that we've been seeing in Britain, it looks like, over the last few weeks.